All right, so now we're up to the guitar solo. So we'll break this down into small pieces. Here's the first small piece. This is from the A minor scale. A lot of A minor pentatonic, A blues, A natural minor. So here's the first phrase. We're going to play on the 7th fret of the D string. That note is A. Then we're going to bend up on the G string on the 7th fret, up a full step. Release the bend and come back down to the 5th fret of the G. Back to the 7th fret of the G. So far we've done this. Now we're going to bend up a half step from the 7th fret of the G. Back to the 5th fret of the G. Bend up a full step now on the G on the 7th fret. Grab the 8th fret of the B string. Release the G string bend. Come back down to the 5th fret of the G string. There's our first little phrase. Next phrase sounds like this. Okay, so it's similar. We're going to start off with a full step bend on the G string, 7th fret. Then I'm going to play the 8th fret of the B 2 times. Release the bend on the G, come back to the 5th fret. And now I'm going to play 7-5 on the D, 5 on the A string, bend up a half step and come back down, and then go to 3 on the A. Okay, so our new phrase sounded like this. And if we go back to the beginning, here's what we've done so far. Okay, the next phrase is going to start off with some octaves and sounds like this. So what I'm doing here is I'm playing octaves. That means I'm playing the 5th fret of the A string, that note is D. I'm playing another D on the 7th fret of the G string. Okay? So since we have the D string in the middle here, you have to mute out the D string. You don't want that to ring. Okay, so I'm going to play that. That's going to be D. Slide up, hit the D again, slide up a whole step, so it'll be to E. Hit the E, slide up a half step to F. Now I'm going to play single notes. On the A string, I'm going to play 8 to 10, 10 to 12, D string 10 to 12, 12 to 14, now 12 to 14 on the G. And now I'm going to do a 2-step bend from the 13th fret of the B string. So I'm going to try and bend from C all the way up to E. Come back down and play 14 on the G. Okay, so if I go back to where those octaves began, here's what we've done. Okay, now we're going to do a long run from the A blues scale. It's going to sound like this. Okay, so we ended our last phrase. If I go back to where that 2-step bend was, and pick it up from there. We're going to go back to the 12th fret of the G string, 14 on the D, And now I'm going to play some notes from the A blues scale. So I'm going to play 13, 14, 13, 12 as a hammer-on and pull-off phrase. Once again. And then 13, 12, jump back to 10, and play 12 to 10. This is all on the D string. And then I'm going to end the phrase by playing 12, 10 on the A, back to 10 on the D, give it a slight push, and then end 12, 10, 12 on the A string. So if I go back to where that two-step bend was, okay, moving on. The next phrase sounds like this. So 15th fret bend on the B string. Grab 15 on the high E, hit that 3 times. Hit the B string now and release the bend. Back to 13 on the B. Bend back up on the 15 of the B. Grab 15 on the high E. This time we only hit it twice. Hit the 15 of the B, release the bend, and play 13, 12 on the B. Okay, so once again, this phrase sounds like this. Okay, next phrase sounds like this. Okay, what I'm doing here now is outlining the notes from an E major chord. So we're in effect playing an E major arpeggio. Starting on the 14th fret of the D, 13G, 12B. Now stay on the B string, 15, 13, 12. Move up with your first finger, and we're going to go down an F major arpeggio. 13B, 14G, 15D. Now, with your first finger, jump up to 13 on the high E, back to 13B, bend 15 on the B, up a full step and back down. Okay, so that whole phrase sounds like this. Once again. And the final phrase sounds like this. Okay, so what I'm doing for the final phrase, I'm bending up on the B string, 15th fret, coming back down, shifting positions now into 5th position. I'm going to bend the 8th fret of the B string up a full step. 5 on the high E, 8 to 5 on the B. Reverse bend, 7th fret of the G string. So I bend before I strike the note and come back down. Hit the 5th fret of the G. And I end with a double stop phrase. I'm going to play the G and the B string on the 7th fret and give those two notes a push. Okay, and if you're playing loud with a cool amp, you can get some nice feedback that way. So once again, if I go back to where we were playing the E major arpeggio, here's the last phrase. Okay, so what do you say? Should we go all the way back to the beginning of the solo and try and piece it all together? Why not? So, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, that's the solo for Don't Cry.